Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about a topic which looks a little difficult to understand and I will try to find out the reason. We have a record number of the job openings. It looks like we have close to 10 million job opening, but we have a huge number of unemployment or unemployed people staying there, around 8 millions of them. So in other words, the number of the unemployed to the ratio of this number unemployed to the job openings is close to zero point 0.8, and that has happened very few times in the history going back many decades. So let's look at what is that situation looks like and what is that it's causing it and how the future is going to look like. The first key reason that apparently looks like is people are retiring earlier than they would have. The primary reason for that is that their 401k has been bolstered up due to a very high stock market. What could have been like 250k is now looking like a 400k or even higher. If you look at last year at the downtime, the S&P index was like 2300 and today it's like 4600, roughly doubling up from its peak in the last year. So if I can say that out of this 59 to 65-year-old, probably they would have planned to retire maybe 3-4 years later. They are retiring earlier, and the primary reason again is that 401k going substantially up. So if we can see that out of 330 million people, we can say roughly 5% of these people in the 59 to 69 year age group or maybe 67 year age group, they comprise of maybe 15 million such people, and if we can take 1% of such persons, they or maybe 10% of those they retired earlier, we have that number looking at 1.5 million. Maybe not all of them, but that makes up a substantial amount of those 10 million of the that number that we are looking at. The second key reason it looks like is the fear of COVID when they are planning to return to the work. They have seen their families, their close friends, their death cases, and they are scared of the COVID again when trying to go back to the work. There are big group of the people who believe that the vaccination is not the right thing, but they are still scared of this COVID, so they could be fearing of the COVID and not going back to the work. We don't have any data for this, so unfortunately we cannot put any number or guess anything, but there certainly is some part of that number because of the fear of the COVID. One of the most important factor is the unemployment benefit, and we know that we had $600 of extra money coming into the pockets because of the extra unemployment benefit. So what they were getting from in terms of the unemployment benefit was more than what they would have been making if they had worked, and that has prevented people from actively starting to look for a work. Now, those benefits have been withdrawn, so we should expect that these people are going to start trying to get employment back, and then this situation should start reversing in the coming months. Another reason is because of those government provided those benefits, their savings have been beefed up even for those who have been employed. So because of that, many people are taking time, especially those who have the money, and delaying their return to the work. There are a few more things that's related to the COVID, especially for the parents or a single parent going back to work and their children going to the school, but at many times those children are sent back to home because one of their students in that class had the COVID, and then they have to come back from the work, so to take care of them. So those things are affecting those things. And lastly, unfortunately, there is a significant amount of the COVID related deaths. We should not discount that 750,000 people died for the COVID. Many of those were we could have been working nowadays, so that also makes up some substantial amount of those things. So what we expect now is that this situation should start improving in terms of the employers, they have to offer, because of this ratio getting disturbed, now they have to start offering more money to the workers. What was like $12 per hour, now they have to offer like $15 per hour. And one of the reasons there are more job openings are because the employers are not offering or to the rate that market demands. They are still expecting people to work at $12 per hour, but because the employees have, or potential employees have better opportunity, they are rejecting those offers. So we can say that many of these job openings will fill up if there is a more dollars per hour of offering. So what it means that in the coming months, or even now, there is a substantial increase in the hourly wage rate. We already have seen like 6% kind of per year growth in the hourly wage rate, and that should keep happening for some time. The rest of the things, unemployment benefit withdrawals, this starts happening, and that should also lead to some kind of the inflation, because when employers have to pay more for the employees, they have to increase the cost of their goods and services, which in turn will keep a loop. And that we can see that even though the short term the inflation was created, but by some kind of the supply and the demand disruption, supply chain disruptions, due to the supplies, the transportation, etc., etc., the next wave of this inflation is going to be fueled by the high cost of the employing the people, and then the chain that it leads to. On a similar note, one thing that a country like US could do is ease up a little bit in terms of bringing more talented people by easing up its immigration policies. Although it's something that we can wait and watch and see how the situation looks like. So I hope this makes sense. If you want to discuss more things, you can write a comment, or you can write to me directly at my email, my last name _ first name @hotmail.com. And I will also leave my LinkedIn profile that you can connect with me to discuss anything more. Thanks for taking a look.